Hi, my name is Neil Burke, and I'm going to be reading from my debut novel Line, which was published by Tramp Press in April. Line is probably best described as speculative fiction, and it tells the story of Willard and Nyla, Willard's mother, who have spent their entire lives in an endless queue, or line if you prefer, and no one can remember why they've joined. Or even how long they've been there. But everyone agrees that whatever is at the top of the queue must be pretty good for everyone to stay in the queue for so long. So I'm going to read from a chapter called Latrines. Latrines. Once Willard finishes clearing the roof, he gets down from the barrel. Hanging by its handle on the far side of the tarp, away from the entrance, is a small latrine shovel he shares with Mother. The head of the shovel is covered in a fungus of rust, bumpy and heavily stained, and the splintering handle is held loosely in place by two corroded nails. Willard walks around to collect it, and, with shovel in hand, makes out for the latrine pits. The pits are set away from the tent line, out past the new rubbish trench, which Willard and the other young men helped excavate when the line had last stopped. The open trench now marks the line's innermost perimeter, the area that must be kept sanitary, and as tempting as it might be for Willard to cut his work short by squatting behind a rock, he knows he cannot. Pissing is tolerated in the clean zone, overlooked if done far enough away from the tents and then rinsed down. But both Mother and Mr. Hummel have drummed the importance of using the latrine pits into him, subjected him to countless warnings of sections further down the line that have been disemboweled by dysentery. But, for all their stories, the walk is still long on cold mornings, the rocks still enticing. Willard went in the rocks once before, but Mr. Hummel caught him, jeans around his ankle, and hauled him up to standing by an earlobe. Then Mr. Hummel thrashed him raw with a tinder stick before waddling him unceremoniously back through the camp, thighs bare and bleeding. Willard spent the rest of the month on latrine duty, digging other people's shitholes, and he knows he won't get away so lightly for a second offence. Willard crosses through the earthen-ridged wasteland of the old rubbish channels, and, after taking a wide step across the open trench, proceeds to pick his way through the sprawling collection of stone cairns, which mark out all the old shit spots that are too recent to be redug. The line hasn't moved for so long now, at least 6 ration drops, and so every time Willard comes out here, he must scour for longer and longer to find a place to squat. The old holes, the really old ones, from people's cycle and cycles up the line, no longer need any markers, because the shit inside them has broken down, petrified to a harmless and powdery chalk. But if Willard loses patience and digs too close to a fresh-laid cairn, then the putrid smell when his shovel bites the earth is enough to keep him looking. At last he finds a small clearing. He digs a little, stops, sniffs, and, satisfied, keeps digging some more. Then, checking the hole is the required depth of the shovel head, he empties his bowels with a moan, hoping the single sheet of card in his pocket will this time be enough.